What's up, y'all? It's Kirsten from Path to Summit LLC, a virtual project management firm that provides project staffing, project guidance, and creates PMOs for organizations all over the globe. I am a huge fan of the gig economy, freelancing, using Upwork, side hustles. I'm going to show you today how to organize all of your clients in one place so that you can invoice effectively, seamlessly, keep it all organized. You ready? Let's roll. I've actually made this board and used it for the past 4 years now. In my own business, Path to Summit, the entire team utilizes it to be able to track their time so that we can invoice clients appropriately and timely. First things first, I'm going to go and create a new board. I'm going to call the board Client Invoicing and hit Create Board. Within this board, I'm going to title each of the groups different client names. So for example, the top could be ABC client, the next one could be dev client, and the last could be ABC company. Give each group one of the names of your client. Next, I'm going to rename the status client. I'm going to give them each shorter names that match the group. Click on that status, edit the labels. Because I'm a freak, I want all the colors to match, okay? So I'm going to add a new label. This one's blue. Does it match that blue? Let me take a look. I'll just pretend that this one does. And let's call it ABC. Edit labels. We can add another label for dev. That's purple. Dev matches that purple group. Let's do a new one. You know what? We're going to do pink and we'll end up changing that group color in just a second. Let's do ABC Co. Now, I need to get rid of these so that they're not in use, so I can actually remove the working on it, stuck, done, because we're using the status for a different purpose right now. So now that I've cleared these out, I'm going to click back on that status. I'm going to edit the labels, and I am going to delete the statuses that are not the client names. Just like this. Great. I'm also going to choose all of these and delete out the date. Whoops. Here we go. Next, I'm going to change this column type to a timeline. Keep changes. Next, I'm going to change the person column to be assigned to. I'm going to drag this column over to be placed after the date column. There we go. Let's add an actual status column. In the status column, we have done, working on it, stuck. There's a couple that I like to add. Let me show you. So this one, I'm going to say waiting on client. The next one is going to be for approval. Another I'm going to add that we use is needs updates. Usually I don't advise to have this many statuses, but these are the actual statuses that we use. Next, I am going to add a time tracking column. I'm going to search for time. And right here, you can see time tracking. Let's add that to the board. Next, I'm going to add a formula column. I want this formula column to translate the time tracking column and how much time is actually captured into a logged number of hours. That formula is the time tracking column hours. Let's set that formula. I'm going to rename it logged hours. Then we'll move you down here. There we go. Next column I'm going to add is actually a numbers column, and I'm going to rename it projected. In this column, I'm going to project the number of hours I think that each task for each client will take. In the next column, I'm going to add the actual billable rate of the client. That's simply going to be a numbers column. I'm going to change the name of it to billable rate. The next column I'm going to add is another formula column. And this formula column is going to be to multiply the projected amount of hours times the billable rate. I'm going to rename this projected dollar amount. The last column that I'm going to do is one more formula, and this is actually going to be the multiplication of the hours that were logged times the actual billable rate. Let's set that formula. Whoopsies, I gotta change it to logged hours. That formula. I'm going to call this invoice amount. You can change these around however you would like. I really just wanted y'all to be able to see the different formulas, how to set this up so you can keep everything in one place. Let's walk through and fill out the board so you can see how this is actually going to help you. In the ABC client group, I'm just going to make up some different tasks that I may have to do. Create a project plan. I need to create standard operating procedure, send SOP to Carol. In the dev client group, I'm going to do the same thing. Let me fill that out and I'll meet y'all right back here. The next column that I'm going to fill out is client. We can actually automate a lot of these different things, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes down the road in this video. For now, just follow me real quick. I'm going to highlight all the tasks in ABC client. I'm going to choose the client status, ABC. Same with, let's go to dev. Let's do the same thing. An ABC company. Let's choose ABC Co. Next, I want you to fill out the date or the timeline, the start and the end date, and the date column, as well as who this is assigned to. You can pause this video. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'll meet you right back here. Side note about the date or timeline type of column. I really like to go into the settings of this column and set it as a deadline. Choose the actual status type of column and choose the assign to column to be linked, then click connect columns. That way, if something is overdue, I show you. We'll just back over here. It's visually cueing you that it's overdue when you look up. And I think that's really helpful. Now that we have all of our dating and all of our assigned to filled out, you can plow through and take a look at the status stuff. I'll just put, let's say we're stuck on this. We are working on this project templates. We'll say we're working on it. Haven't started that yet. February 6th or 7th. Y'all, I'm forgetting what day it is already. Jeez. I'm working on that. Okay, I'm stuck on that. I'm working on that. Let's talk about the time tracking column, okay? So time tracking, you can press this play button and it's going to start recording and tracking your time. Otherwise, you can click on this time tracking cell and you can add a session manually. So let's say on this past Monday, I worked on this from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8:30 a.m. Add session. Now you're seeing it's showing both sessions, the one that I was tracking live as well as the one that I manually updated. For this video, I'm going to go in and put in some time tracking so that you can see how does this affect the logged hours. Go through your time tracking and put in the hours. Put this video on pause. I'll see you right back here. When you use this, you are going to go in and for each task, you just say the projected amount of time in hours that it should take you. This is cool because you can start to notice if you are underestimating or overestimating for the different tasks that you're completing for different clients. I'm just going to go through and fill out this projected part so that we can start seeing what some of our formulas are going to bring up for us. Now to fill out the billable rate column. I am going to select all of ABC client and say that they pay me $200 an hour. I'm going to go to dev client. They pay me $150 an hour. I can do it individually like this, or as you know, I can select all of them over there. Again, we can automate this. We're going to just wait a hot second to get into that. Let's see, ABC company. What do they pay me, y'all? ABC Co, they pay $350 an hour. Ooh, did y'all notice that we don't have the dollar signs there? Let's go ahead and fix that really quick by clicking on the sum and changing the unit from none to the dollar sign. Love that. Now, for some reason, I just noticed that my formula didn't work in the projected dollar space. Let's try AI Assistant. Multiply the projected column by the billable rate column. Let's click on insert. Let's set formula. Oh, goodness gracious sakes alive. Here we go. Again, the projected dollar amount isn't showing dollar amount. So let's go ahead and change that. Update the unit to the $sign. There we go. And now we have the invoice amount. Let's change that as well to the $sign. Now, what's really cool about this and filling it out straight across is that we projected that we were going to spend about $17.50, and now we're actually invoicing $19.25. Obviously, depending on your scopes and what those look like with your clients, this was a great way to say, whoa, am I over, under on scope? Am I over, under my allocated or allowed budget? Week over week, day over day, month over month, so on and so forth. Right here, we can see for ABC clients with all of the tasks and all of the time and the billable rate that we have entered for the work performed February 3rd through, looks like 6, we have an invoice that we need to send of $19.25. Let me go ahead and show you some down and dirty, easy peasy, lemon squeezy automations that you can do with this board. I'm going to click on automate in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to go to add custom automation because that's how I roll. So when this happens, when an item is created, and only if an item is in the group of ABC clients, I want it to do a few things. I want it to change that client status type column to ABC, and I want it to set that number, aka the billable rate, to whatever they're paying me per hour. I don't remember what it was. I'm going to put in 150, y'all. Sorry. Now, this is also where we could add another step if ABC client is always worked on by a specific team member. So what we could do is assign, it's Kirsten, your girl, as the assigned to. Update the automation. We can do something like that for each client in each group, y'all. Another automation that we can do is when we mark a task as working on it anywhere in this board, let's have it automatically start time tracking. That's not my favorite, but hey, it might be yours. This is how we set it up. When status changes, status being the actual status column, please, changes to working on it, then do this. What do we want it to do? We want it to start time tracking right there. Start time tracking. Update. Let's head back to the board and try these automations out. I'm going to add a new item to ABC client. And as you can see, the automations are running. It is assigning me directly to it. It added the billable rate of 150, which it looks like I need to change to 350. Whoopsie. And it labeled the client ABC. Now, when we choose working on it, you can see right now that the time tracking has started. Pretty neat, huh? Because we can, let's take this a step further and create a dashboard for ourselves so we know at a glance what's going on with our client invoicing board. I'm going to click on the plus sign next to the main table, and I'm going to choose blank view. I'm going to rename this view as at a glance. We're going to start adding our widgets. One widget that would really help me and may help you is a chart that looks at projected dollar amount versus actual dollar amount that we've billed by client. So let's build that out. Click on add widget. Let's choose a chart. Let's make this chart a little bit bigger. I'm going to go into more options for this chart. I'm going to choose the settings. For the chart type, I like the bar graph for this specific type of widget. But on the x-axis, I really need to make sure that the client is a status type of column, which it is right now, not the group, but this one. Let's click on that one. Next, on the y-axis, we can actually choose multiple items. This is where I'm going to be choosing the projected amount as well as the invoice amount. The calculation that I do want is sum. You can get into other customizations right here. I'm going to keep it as is. Right here, we can see I projected 600 for dev, We're at 267 as of today, and then we can take a look at the projected versus the actual amount we're going to invoice for ABC and ABC Co. I'm sorry that I made those both the same. That was kind of dumb. My apologies. I hope that really doesn't throw you off. Another widget that could be really, really helpful for you in planning capacity could be adding the timeline widget. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. This way we can see what tasks are spreading over what times. Let's go into the more options and adjust this to be a little bit more helpful for us. I would like to group it by the actual groups. So now we can see ABC client, dev client, ABC company, and then we still have the month and day information at the top. Next, for visual settings, I want to show a color legend, and I'm going to drop down to color by. And I would actually color it by the task status. Let me close out of here. Now we can see this is done. That's great. We're stuck on something that was supposed to be done in the past, and we're working on some pieces that are coming up to deadlines here pretty shortly. We also have not started a few pieces that we can see. So we can click on auto fit. We can also take a look at this week over week. What does this look like? Now, if you want to add another widget that can help you with planning out capacity and who on your team may be super busy, or if you're super busy as a solopreneur, let me show you how to do that. Let's add another widget. Choose more widgets. I'm going to search for, I believe it's called workload. Yep. I didn't know if they had renamed it or not, y'all, to be honest. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. All right. And as you can see, these are the different people that are assigned within that client invoicing board. More tasks equal a more full circle. Kind of like this one right here on person A versus this one right here on person C. You can see for this week, person A has 3 tasks versus 1 on person C's plate. When you're coming into this view, you can search for different pieces as well as filter it by a specific person or filter it by a specific week or client. There's endless possibilities, truly. I hope creating the client invoicing board has helped you to see the different possibilities and ways that you can organize all of your invoicing and keep track of different tasks with different clients. This will allow you to have even more clients, invoice more timely and more efficiently. If you have any questions, y'all know, please comment below. We're happy to help. Until next time. Have questions? Comment below. We actually respond. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Path to Summit channel for more project management tips, tricks, and software tutorials.